You're muted, Andrew.
Andrew, you are muted.
Now we're back. You could hear me, right? All right, hot start heading into 2022. We are back with the Magic and Andrew MMA betting podcast with special guest SWR betting Luke Lampe. Thanks for joining us, my friend.
Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to get back at it after the long break. Definitely took some time away. Definitely much needed. But yeah, man, let's get after it.
Let's do it. Magic, my friend, I will start with you. The first fight of the night, we're going in best fight odds order. Your boy, Charles Rosa, is stepping up on short notice to fight TJ Brown. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see the props for this fight, but my initial thought is that the line is pretty bad. It's too wide, isn't it? Like it's plus 200, makes no sense to me. I'm not saying I'm going to bet Rosa because he's 70 IQ, the guy's stupid. This is going to be a complete mess, and they are going to be rolling all over the ground because TJ Brown is going to get takedowns, and Rosa is going to do what Rosa always does, and maybe he gets armbarred, or I don't know. Rosa is nearly impossible to finish, at least to submit. It's kind of wild. So yeah, I don't get the line. I want to see the props. Maybe there are some crazy numbers, but they are not good. I think Rosa is the side at this price.
Luke, what do you got?
Yeah, kind of similar sentiments to me. I'm sorry, to Magic. I think it's an okay spot for Brown, but I mean 250. I mean, you obviously just can't lay that on a guy like him who just kind of gets hurt in pretty much every fight. He's definitely submission over position. Yeah, but then again, Rosa's pretty tough to back. If I was to do anything, I'd probably just look to maybe take a flyer on him by sub, which will probably be like, I don't know what, like plus 500, plus 600 or something like that. We have seen TJ Brown kind of stick his head into guillotines. And as somebody who was on TJ Brown at plus money against Jordan Griffin, which was probably one of the toughest L's to ever take. I just still don't know how anybody out there can get guillotine from side control. So we know Rosa is obviously a black belt. He's going to be aggressive from his back. So I think he might have some sneaky sub potential in this fight. Is more of a kind of a fade on Brown of fight IQ. So.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think TJ Brown's going to win. Tough ask to fly to Vegas and fight TJ Brown on a couple days' notice. Rosa has a bad habit of getting stuck on bottom. So if TJ Brown looks to grapple, he probably covers his price tag. Even on the feet, I just feel like Rosa hasn't looked all that great lately. Our boy, Damon Jackson took care of him. So you come on this podcast, you win fights, period. Second fight, another short notice spot. We have Brian Kelleher, a minus 300 favorite over Kevin Kroom. I'll start this one. I kind of think this is wide considering the fact that Kelleher is going up in weight here. I'm picking him to win. Again, same deal as last fight. Tall ass fighting on a couple of days' notice, but Kroom's bigger. He's a pretty good grappler. And Kelleher, I don't know. I feel like he doesn't necessarily look 300 pretty much ever, even in the fights. Even fights he wins. Luke, you feel the same way?
Yeah, he's another guy that you can't lay, super heavy chalk on. Kelleher's the type of guy you want to back as like an undervalued dog and get some potential value there because, he is a battle-tested, tough guy. He'll let it fly on the feet. Obviously a dangerous grappler too. I just personally don't think Kevin Kroom is of a UFC caliber, and we did see him slow down even in the back half of the Caceres fight as well. So I don't think it's particularly encouraging for his gas tank coupled with that, short notice nature. But yeah, Kelleher's just not the greatest minute winner historically either. So if I was to look to do anything, I'd look to go and buy down with, ITT or something like that.
Awesome. Magic, what do you think?
That was a good comment.
No, we need it. We need him at some point. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kelleher is going to win. Kind of same as Rosa. I want to see the props. There are some that are interesting, but it depends on the price. Kroom is garbage. I cannot believe I bet on this guy against Caceres. 3 minutes in, I was like, oh, what have you done? This is horrible. That was a bad bet. He gasses horribly. His striking is horrible. He's not UFC level. And I can't believe he finished Roosevelt Roberts, man. That cost me a lot of money. Like a lot. I was in disbelief. So yeah, Kelleher should win, but I'm not going to play minus 300 when this is on short notice. Kelleher is a natural bantamweight, and this guy has fought at 155 before. But I think he's going to win. Yeah, if the props are good, maybe a very good spot for Kelleher props.
Dope. All right. Next fight, we've got a Stone Cold Ramiz Brahima versus the legend Court McGee. Magic, I'll stay with you on this one. Who you taking?
Yeah, I bet Ramiz in his debut, and he came out and he was a kickboxer suddenly. That I felt sick watching that. But he had a real good fight. The second one, it was an easy style matchup for him, I think. This one is kind of tricky because McGee is very durable, should have the better, not the better grappling, but the better wrestling or the ability to keep it on the feet, probably. But he's like 70 years old and he has been getting rocked pretty bad lately. And Ramiz, he's not a jiu-jitsu ace or anything like that. He's a submission catcher, has a killer guillotine. He's dangerous, you know what I mean? And I think he has some pop on the feet. He can hurt McGee. I see this fight being a scrap and the younger, more powerful guy hurting him at some point if he cannot get takedowns. I am sure people are going to take McGee here, expecting him to win the stand-up, but I think he's going to get hurt at some point. I like Brahim inside the distance.
Luke, what do you think?
Yeah, so different take for me. I actually think it's a decent spot for McGee. Dude stuffs takedowns at 69%. You know, he's never been controlled for more than 3+ minutes in any UFC fight spanning over a decade. You know, he's fought some good wrestler grapplers in there, you know, even going back against a guy like Ryan LaFleur, who's obviously a really talented wrestler, even guys like Sean Brady, you know, guys really aren't even having the ability to hold him down extended, let alone to really even get close to threatening subs. Obviously fought a really talented grappler in his last outing, and Claudio Silva pretty much beat the shit out of him on the ground and showed up, you know, in the best shape of his career to boot. He's going to throw a ton of strikes. I know, you know, he always isn't the greatest minute winner because he's hittable, you know, not the fastest dude. He is 37. I get it. But Ramiz has also never knocked anybody out, and he's never really shown to win any extended striking exchanges over anybody, even regional level comp. He's never beaten anyone past 7.5 minutes. So, you know, he's going to have to go out there and submit McGee for the first time in his career. He's going to have to go out there and knock out McGee, something he's never done before, win extended striking exchanges, which he's never done before, and win a fight over the course of 15 minutes, assuming he's not able to get him out, which I think is also not going to be the easiest of tasks, especially if he has not addressed his gas tank, because that's touched on pretty much every fight that's been extended for him. He's gassed outside of the Griffin fight, but that in a fight he didn't wrestle at all and just proceeded to get pot shotted from the outside. So I think Court's hardware is a bit better. His volume's more consistent, and he does have a defensive capability in both the wrestling and the grappling that should give Ramiz a lot of troubles here.
Yeah, I just want to say I did cash on Max Griffin round 3 plus 1,800 because Ramiz's ear fell off. So that was a banger.
Sharp.
What do you say?
Very sharp.
Very sharp. Yep. Yeah, on this fight, I don't know. I went back and forth in my head. Like I expected to like Ramiz a little bit more on tape, but I think Luke touched on some good points in regard to concerns on that side. I think honestly, like fight goes the distance was like minus 140. I think was not a bad spot. I didn't play it, but I think McGee's went to decision like 15 in his last 16 fights. Again, not a huge take on my part, but that's the way I would play the fight. I'd look to target the over 2.5 or fight goes the distance if you wanted to play on this fight. Next up,
I don't disagree with Luke. Everything he said is true, but I just think this is a fight at the end of the day. I think the younger guy is going to beat his ass. And he's an aggressive guy. He's going to go for it. You see the last fight when he choked out Palatnikov, the celebration when he got up? Man, that's a scary guy. I don't know what the fuck he was saying, but I only understood Allahu Akbar a lot of times, and he was like crazy. I was like, he's going to kill someone. So yeah, I like him here. We'll see.
We'll see.
Look, we'll see.
You never know. Next up, a fight I do have a pretty strong take on. Jamie Pickett versus Joseph Holmes. I don't know why Holmes is a minus 150, minus 160 favorite here. Other than being big, like I don't think he's good at anything really. Not that Pickett's some kind of world beater, but I taped this fight. I'm not really sure how you get past a pick him. So I played Pickett at like plus 140. I think there's still value on him right now. Pretty cut and dry. I just think he's more skilled. Like, yeah, he could get caught, but this is the first time that Holmes doesn't have some big size advantage in one of his fights. Luke, you agree with that?
I think for me, it's actually one of probably the higher variance spots on the card. The way I classified it, it's a regional level fight taking place in the UFC. I've been pretty vocal about saying I don't think Jamie Pickett's a UFC caliber fighter. Conversely, I don't think Joseph Holmes is ready for the UFC right now either. The problem is that both guys' volume is pretty inconsistent. I think mechanically Holmes' wrestling is a bit shaky. Offensively, he can get stuck on bottom play from guard. But then again, Jamie Pickett necessarily isn't a guy who's proactively wrestling and shooting takedowns, and we just haven't seen him in top position a ton. It's still pretty hard to get the Charles Byrd fight out of my head for him, where, he got taken down, passed, and finished, within like less than a 15-second sequence. Him getting 3x on strikes by Tafon and Chukagi is pretty hard to also unsee. So I definitely understand the angle. Gun to my head, I would 100% be more willing to take the shot on Pickett, but it's a decently easy pass for me.
Magic, go ahead and ruin my night and tell me why you think Holmes is going to win.
Yeah, I bet Holmes. Yeah, I did. I'm not joking. I took him inside the distance and by submission. I mean, he's bad and Pickett is worse. This is not rocket science. I think at some point he gets a takedown and takes the back. He's good at that. Not at getting the takedown, but he's good at taking the back and sinking in the choke. Pickett is trash. I mean, every time he gets hit, he reacts horribly. His grappling is garbage. I'm not sure what he's good at. I mean, Staropoli should be in prison for losing to this guy. He deserved to be cut after that. He's really bad. Yeah, I mean, low-level fight, I think Holmes is going to find a finish, probably a submission. He has finished every win, and 5 out of his 7 wins are submissions. He likes taking the back and going from there. I think it happens here. Plus 310 on submission is pretty good.
Holmes is getting walked like a dog in that octagon on Saturday night.
Yeah, I don't think so, guys. The Beverly Hills Ninja made this guy look like a 15-year-old boy.
Well, yeah, that's just what he does, man. Beverly Hills Ninja's a legend. He's going to the Hall of Fame someday.
Alaska FC Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Next up, we've got, this is probably one of the more fun fights on the card. We have Dakota Bush versus my arch nemesis now, Vyacheslav Borshev. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Magic, go ahead, talk about this one because I don't want to talk about this guy.
Borshev is a nice guy, man. Andrew hates him because he said he was going to be on the pod, and in the end, he couldn't be here. But he's a nice guy. He apologized and everything. If I was in the UFC, I wouldn't be apologizing to some dude on Twitter. And he
apology not accepted. Apology not accepted. I was like,
this guy. He's a nice guy, but his manager is a prick. His manager is Uraya, right? Makes sense. Yeah, it adds up. Yeah, complete idiot, Uraya Faber. But Borshev is a good guy.
So Faber's the one we should be mad at?
Yeah, I can beat Faber. We can talk shit about Faber. He's like a Steve.
He's gonna go shake his. He needs to go shake his chin with the octagon gross.
He's done. He wants to fight Swanson. I think Swanson beats his ass back to California.
Ooh,
like real bad.
I hope that happens.
Yeah, combined age 127 years old in the cage. I think this fight. I mean, I like Borshev, and all bets aside, I hope he wins. But I mean, I don't get the price. His grappling is like non-existent. It's just I'm going to try to not get taken down, and on the feet he's elite. I mean, he's one of the best strikers I have ever seen in the UFC. His hands are insane, but he's not physically very imposing. Not that he's a huge puncher or anything. He's just very precise, very good technically. I mean, this is not rocket science. Bush needs to come out here and shoot takedowns. He has a massive grappling advantage. If he takes the back, this fight is probably over. I don't understand the price on Bush inside the distance. Bush by submission. I mean, submission is like plus 650 or plus 750. That's a stupid line. I took that. But yeah, and that's it pretty much. Probably doesn't go the distance is good, but minus 200, I'm not playing that. That's a fair price. So yeah, we'll see. But I hope Borshev wins, all bets aside.
Luke, what do you got?
So I'm actually on violence here. I got in on an earlier line. I played the under 2.5 at -120. We've seen that take a decent amount of steam. I just think it's kind of a binary type of fight. Whoever's really able to get off on their game plan, I think probably finishes at, a decent clip, despite, Bush never being KO'd before. A lot of his fights have been pretty early, and he just hasn't fought the greatest of strikers in the world. And I think Borchev is the best striker he's fought to date. He's obviously got timing, hand speed, power, some of the stuff that Magic touched on. So I think he's probably going to be, taking a canvas nap should this fight be, upright and for extended range exchanges, I should say. But on the other side, we've consistently seen Borchev drop rounds, minutes, and even his one pro loss, I believe, to Will Starks had a significant wrestling component as well. And that's one thing Bush is pretty consistent to do. He's going to come out and shoot takedowns. He's also not really your position over submission. He's very submission over position. He's going to hunt backs, hunt necks, try to get guys out of there. So I think we're going to get a lot of questions answered on Borchev's defensive grappling, because I do think, despite me not thinking Bush is anything special, I think he is the best grappler that he's fought today. What are you saying?
He's always picking fights on here. I'm on that exact same.
We need to make sure his manager is Uriah Faber, because maybe we are talking shit to Nikita Krylov or something.
Someone in the comments said it is, but who knows? I'm on that same under 2.5 -120. Pretty binary fight. I think from a money line perspective, Bush is definitely the side. The grappling upside is huge. We've seen Borchev struggle with it. I don't think his cardio is that great, but striking wise, again, not even close here. So I like targeting the under 2.5 in this spot. Even at -145, I don't think that's a bad look. Next fight is Bill Algeo versus Joe Anderson Brito. Before we start that off, just want to say thank you. We have 77 live viewers right now. Super cool. Thanks, Luke, for joining us. Why don't you give us your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, this is another interesting one because it seems like pretty much everybody's on Brito this week, or at least that I've seen. I haven't seen too much Algeo love out there. I kind of came away with like a slight lean to Brito, but kind of the question becomes, does his general style kind of compare to some of the guys who've been able to kind of put it on Algeo, especially in the wrestling and grappling? I do think the guy's physically strong at the weight class. He is a good wrestler, but I don't think his gas tank is necessarily great. I think on the feet, he's got some reckless tendencies too. So that's kind of where the concern is. And despite, Algeo being wrestled and, the dude getting hit a lot, he is a pretty tough dude who's really lost to pretty stiff competition to boot. So I think there's potential that, he makes this a competitive scrap and vet lessens him. But yeah, my lean is Brito more so for optical reasons, and the wrestling probably being the difference in the fight.
Magic, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think this guy is a complete fraud.
All right, well, we're 17 minutes into the first episode of the new year, and that's how long it took Magic to call someone a fraud. So if you had the under, you cashed it.
He's like, if Davison wasn't good, he will be Brito. He sucks. He has no cardio. He just goes out there and brawls. I mean, he has power. He's explosive and this and that. He has like 6-7 minutes of good gas, and the Contender Series fight went the way it went because this guy, I forgot his name, played guard and accepted the position, and it was a mess. I mean, if this guy doesn't take Algeo out of there in 6-7 minutes, he's going to be fucked, I think. And Algeo is a durable guy. I doesn't go the distance a lot here. This guy barely goes to decisions, and if he doesn't get him out, he's going to get taken out, I think. And I have some pokes on Algeo inside the distance, Algeo by submission, Algeo late. I mean, Algeo round 3 plus 1800 on principle. This is a must.
For the culture. Yeah, I don't have any strong takes on this fight. Like, if you put a gun to my head, I would play Algeo. Like, I think I wrote that if he gets up to like plus 125, I'd probably play it. I don't really have that great of a feel for Brito yet, but obviously Algeo's fought the much better competition. He does get out wrestled at times, but he also gets back up, creates scrambles on the mat, and he's dangerous on the ground. So I don't get laying the juice on Brito here, but again, not a super strong take by me. I'll give you a strong take, though, right now. This is the first fight. I saw this fight got announced. I saw the line came out, and I said, I need to tape this right now. We have the rematch, 2 years in the making. Caitlyn Chukagi versus Jennifer Maia. I saw this fight got announced again. I swear to God, this is the first fight I taped in 2022. I bet Caitlyn Chukagi at minus 150. I thought she won pretty convincingly last time. She was beating Maya up at range pretty bad. Maya got her down once at the end of that fight. I thought it should have been 30-27 on all cards, but nonetheless, I think Chukagi wins again. I think this is kind of a slept on spot, especially at that price. Like minus 185, like obviously it's different than minus 150, but I just don't see how Maya wins this fight at a high clip. Like I feel like it's one of those spots where she loses what seems to be like a semi-close fight, like a very at a high percentage outcome, if that makes sense. I don't know if I said that correctly, but Luke, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, we were actually messaging back and forth on this one 3 or 4 weeks ago.
That's
so
right.
I did not get the 150 you got, but I did jump in at 165. Yeah, you pretty much hit on all the main points. I think Maya was just kind of one step behind in that first fight, and both girls are kind of in their early 30s. I don't think we've seen any regression from either. I don't think you can anticipate any big leaps or bounds in the last 2 to 3 years for both. They pretty much are what they are. So I think it's kind of just rinse and repeat unless the chick goes out there and puts on her singlet. But even then, she doesn't really wrestle much historically, so it's hard to bank on. Even the one time she did, was able to get her down. Chuk was able to create some scrambles with that leg lock and get up. So, yeah, I think Chuk's a decent look this week.
I can't put that comment on the screen, but it was a good one.
You have put up much worse.
We're going to be PC in 2022. That's the podcast New Year's resolution.
You tweeted that. I don't know what that means. I can imagine, but I am sure.
PC?
Yeah.
It means like politically correct.
I thought it meant another thing, but I'm not going to say it.
Nah, PC means politically correct.
Okay.
What do you think of the Chuk fight?
I don't give a fuck about this fight, honestly. Yeah, I mean, it is like the third last fight, right, on the card.
I don't know. Let me check.
Like just before the co-main, maybe.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, the placement is perfect to go get food and something to drink, I think. Yeah, not good at all. I mean, Chukagi probably wins. I don't think she has any value. Maya by decision plus 280 is not bad, I think. Maybe she can lay on top for 2 rounds. Who cares? I mean, who cares? This is a trash fight. I don't want to watch this, honestly.
Why me and Andrew care, dude?
Oh yeah,
Why make this fight again? This is horrible.
This is what gets me up in the morning. It's not a cup of coffee. I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna get to bet on Caitlyn Chukagi for Jennifer Maya.
And you put on Chukagi and tape and hoot. Yeah, all the morning. I mean, this sucks. I have a feeling Maya is going to like fox her way to a decision. You know what I mean? A couple takedowns here and there. But I'm not going to play it because
I don't want to.
I really don't want to be involved with this. I want to be watching this and not care about it because I really don't care about it. So yeah,
I wish someone to stand in front of her. Chuk ain't gonna do that. Mine needs to get in those boxing ranges. Chuk ain't gonna give that shit to her.
Yeah, Chukagi is also a deadly leg kicker. I mean, the power in this fight coming from both sides is going to be fireworks.
Yep.
I hope you both win. You both beat Chukagi, right? Okay, good luck. No, seriously.
Appreciate it. Do you care about this next one at all? Brandon Royval versus Ruggerio Bonterine.
Yeah, Royval is my boy. I didn't bet him because this is a strange style matchup, I think, for him, but he's my boy. He gets disrespected all the time on Twitter. Like, why? He's a good fighter. People act like he's not talented at all. He's a nice black belt. He does crazy shit on the ground and concedes position a lot of times. Gets himself into bad positions too, but that's because he wants to keep things rolling. You know what I mean? He doesn't stop, never stops. The pace is crazy. I mean, I don't know why we are talking about this fight because Bonterine is going to miss by 7 pounds and the fight is not going to happen. Everybody knows it. But yeah, I like doesn't go the distance. It's a little bit used around minus 200. Probably happens. The only way I see this not going the distance is Bonterine spending 2 full rounds on the back. If not, this is going to be motion, and someone is going to get finished. I think it's Bonterine round 1, or if not, he gets finished. But he can crack on the feet, and Royval, I mean, round 1, a civilian will put hands on Royval. His defense is non-existent.
I think we lost you for a second there. Can you talk?
Hello.
All right, we're back.
I was saying Royval's defense is non-existent and that a civilian would hit him in round 1. Yeah, I think he's going to find a finish down the stretch, but yeah, I'm just on fight doesn't go the distance. But really good fight. If Bonterine shows up and he's lower than 200 pounds, really good fight.
That's a big if. I don't know.
He missed that bantamweight. I mean,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
and it's been Christmas. Maybe he goes like, oh, Ruggerio Bonterine, 156. And flexes, when they miss and flex.
Can you leave real quick and join back? You're getting a little laggy. See if that helps.
I'm not sure why. Okay, I'll do. This is shameless. Andrew getting me out of the podcast.
You're lagged again. What do you think about this fight?
To me, it kind of comes down to just how Bontorine's gas holds, which is what would probably determine whether he's actually value in the spot or not. And that's where I have some pretty big questions for a lot of what Magic kind of brought up with Royval's like pace is just ridiculous on both the feet and on the ground. Like even in the times he is taken down, he's a guy who's going to be like crazy scrambly. He's going to threaten a lot of stuff. He's going to elbow from bottom. He's constantly going to shrimp. He's just kind of looking to get into those like scramble type of exchanges. So it's like, I do think Bontorine's wrestling is actually pretty good. He's very physically strong. He's a black belt as well. So I do think he might be able to have the game to kind of implement similar to what we saw in the last couple fights that gave Royval some issues, and even against Kenny, I think earlier on too, in his run. I just don't know if he can do that for 7, 8, 9 minutes against a guy in Royval potentially. So we'll see. I guess I'd be more inclined to take a pop on Bontorine though, if I was to do anything.
They're all saying you're not lagging, so maybe it's just me. But yeah, you're funny. Yeah, I don't know. I think Bontorine's probably the side, but I don't really love it. I think it's like Royval just kind of creates variance. I think it makes his fights hard to cap. Like he's the kind of guy that you want to play as a dog, but I don't really get backing him as a favorite. I would have bet again. This is a spot like I probably would have bet the under at like even money, but at -160, I'm not too interested. Again, mainly because I think Bonterine could end up blanketing him. But again, just not a fight I want to touch.
I'm like 100% sure Bonterine is not going to blanket him. He needs to get the back and the hooks in, or he's not controlling him.
Someone asked if you could beat Bonterine
under an MMA rule set or bar fight.
Do you in an eating contest, like who could eat the most food?
I don't know, but if you can grab him for long enough in a street fight, you win. He gasses after 6 minutes.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you guys this.
He's like a fat guy also, I mean.
What do you think he's going to weigh in at tomorrow? Like, honestly.
Honestly, 129.
Luke?
I kind of think he does miss too. I'm going 128.5.
Yeah, I think
he's going to play with the Halo ones, just enough to not get the fight cancelled. Yeah, he's an old fox, Bonterine, from the regionals.
A weight cutting contest. That's so funny. Yeah, I think he'll miss too. I think 128 probably is a good guess.
I mean, I saw him in the press day or whatever that is called when they talk with the media, and he looked fat as fuck. My first thought was this guy is not making 125. Like no way. But yeah, I don't know.
His face looks big. The people's main event. I mean, I can't believe they're giving us a fight this good on the first card of the year. But we have Chase Sherman versus Collier. I'm at a loss for words, so Luke, I'm gonna let you start this one.
Yeah, I actually ended up taking a small pop on Collier. I know Magic's gonna kill me for this. But I did a pretty deep dive back into it. And, Chase Sherman's 1-4 in the UFC when his fights have hit the cards, 1-5. If you actually look at the Sakai fight to a fight in which he was going to go on to lose a decision where he got finished late as well. So despite him being obviously a high output dude, he's kind of your stick in the mud heavyweight. He's going to just block punches with his face. We saw him gas after 5 minutes of, pretty effective pressure applied by Porter in the last fight. And the one thing for Collier is that I do think his gas is good. I know people will look at the last fight against Felipe and say he slowed down. He did, but that was more so to like the attritional body work that Felipe was able to do in that fight. And many people actually thought that Collier won. I just think his pace is a bit more consistent. I think he has shown more defensive cognizance of the two. Both of them definitely aren't great defensively by any means, but if I had to give an edge to somebody defensively, it would be Collier. And he's also just not going to be your stick in the mud guy that I think really probably Chase Sherman needs to succeed. He's going to move. He's going to use footwork. He's going to use kicks. He'll check kicks. Yeah, I just think he'll be the superior minute winner in the fight. And obviously we just see little ground from both guys. So I think he's probably anywhere between 60 to 65% in this fight.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take. The concerns for me, honestly, on both sides are the same. Like, I don't think either of them has great cardio, but to your point, what's his name? The fat Brazilian guy was pushing the pace on him. Like, his name just escaped me. Yeah. Was pushing the pace on him and he was gassing. And then Sherman is a quitter. He seemed discouraged after round one in his last fight. They both get leg kicked. They both throw leg kicks. So it's like, I don't know. I would gun to head. I'd play Collier, but not in love with like laying any kind of juice on him, even if it's like minus 130. If it was like plus 100, I might take a small pop at it, but really no strong opinions other than that. 91 live viewers right now. When I leave this, when this live stream ends, I'm going to check how many likes are on this video. There better be 91. But in all seriousness, if you guys could like it, I appreciate it. We all appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate Luke for being here, and we're going to let him kick off the main event.
Thank you for skipping
Chikadze,
me.
minus 225. What do you say?
Thank you for skipping me.
On what?
On Collier versus Sherman, man.
You just said that you had 3 units on Sherman.
No, I didn't. What is this guy doing?
I'm just messing with you. Go ahead. That was funny. You got it, man. I played that off really good.
No, it really wasn't, but it's okay. I mean, I think the Vanilla Gorilla is getting a little bit disrespected in this podcast. I don't know, man. I have nothing on it, but inside the distance plus 275 is pretty stupid. Like, the fight is close and lined closely, and plus 275 for a guy that has 14 finishes in 15 wins. I mean, I understand that Collier has become this folklore hero for betting people after he won that decision as a big dog, but let's not forget that he is absolute garbage. In case people have forgotten, I don't know, man, and the leg kicks here could be a factor for Sherman. I'm getting tempted. I'm probably going to have some Sherman inside the distance in some stupid shit or stupid parlays. Yeah, on principle. I don't think Collier is good, and I think Collier is more likely to get hurt than Sherman. But yeah, probably the best co-main event of the year.
Easily.
I mean, if Kattar versus Giga falls from the card, I don't know how they don't cancel the card.
Speaking of Chikadze versus Kattar, when this fight first got announced, you messaged me and said, "I'm going to make the biggest bet of my life on Giga Chikadze, and I want you to tell the people why."
Me? You're talking about me?
Yeah.
I think you should start because this may take me like 10 minutes.
Okay. I think Kattar's the side here. I haven't bet it because I'm concerned about the leg
I'm
kicks.
a coward.
I'm concerned.
I think Kattar's the side here, but I haven't bet it because I'm a coward.
I haven't bet it because I'm concerned about the leg kicks. I'm concerned about Kattar's beating he took against Max Holloway. I think live betting him after a round or two is probably a good idea because I feel like a lot of Giga's win condition is an early knockout in that first or second round. But I don't know how you trust Giga at this price in the later rounds. And I mean, the price keeps coming, keeps widening in his favor. So I might be forced to play Kattar before fight time. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Luke, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I actually jumped in on the over at minus 140. I thought that was a decent price. And then I'm kind of taking your strategy as well. I think just looking to live bet Kattar, but one, because I have the over and I don't really want to double up on it because if Giga kills him, then I'm out of 2 bets. But I do think there's a potential that, Giga does win 1, maybe 2, or is, winning the first 7 or 8 minutes of this fight, and you're still seeing Calvin's line around plus 200 live or whatever. And I think that in theory, then obviously takes off 5, 6, 7, 8 potential minutes of him getting knocked out. So you're obviously limiting some risks there and still getting a really solid line on him if you're more of the opinion that he is able to survive and take over as this fight goes on. So I agree 100% with you, Andrew. I think he's just a better live option because I think you can get a very similar price and actually limit some more risk.
All right, go ahead, buddy. You're up.
I mean, I don't even know where to start because this is wild. I have no idea what's going on here. Like, this guy is not good. I don't think Chikadze is a top 10 featherweight. Like, he's not good. I mean, props to him. He's kind of a good kicker. What else he is good at? He has no cardio. He has no chin. His defense is horrible. He cannot fight going backwards. He cannot box. If you get on him, he cannot box. I mean, Billy Q will put this guy in a body bag. I mean, I don't understand what's going on. The guy comes into the UFC. Yeah, he's on a 7-fight win streak. Congratulations. He fought a list of McDonald's employees up to Swanson. And then he liver kicks Swanson in like, I don't even know how long that was, 40 seconds. Okay, congratulations. Good for him. I just think he has high roll 2 finishes. The Barbosa fight, I bet Barbosa huge against him, and I was feeling very good about my Barbosa bets after 2 rounds. Giga took the first round. I mean, he's fast and he's a good kicker. That's what he does. Second round, Barbosa was pressure boxing him. Barbosa is not a good boxer, and he was pressure boxing him, going to the body. Chikadze was looking tired and started to get hurt, and Barbosa was a big favorite live for a reason. I mean, he was like minus 230 or something like that. And then they come out round 3 and Barbosa gets obliterated. Okay, congratulations again, but I don't think the guy is a top 10 featherweight. I mean, you think Shane Burgos loses to this guy?
Now, maybe. I don't know what the hell happened to Shane
Burgos like destroys this guy in 1 round. Gets inside once, and that's the fight. I don't hate him. I just don't think he's very good. People think I hate him, man. All the Georgians were coming after me one day on Twitter. I mean, I'm the driver of the Topuria hype train. What are you doing?
So what I will say for me, though, I'm poor as shit betting Giga fights. I think I bet Amherst against him. I bet Swanson. And I bet.
Me too, but you were on the right sides. No, I mean, no regrets. Look, you made all the right decisions because he's not that good. I mean, he ain't shit. Okay, as I said, he high roll 2 finishes. Good for him, but Kattar has the better chin. He's proved over 5 rounds. He has never been finished. Better cardio, better durability. I mean, my only concern here is that he took an all-time beating from Holloway, but it was 12 months ago. He took a big rest. Unless his chin is completely gone, I think he's going to win this fight. Like, I think he should be a massive favorite. I think the guy should be like minus 300. I don't understand this at all. I don't get it. I mean, the guy has a jab. If Kattar hits him just once with the right hand clean, this is going to be over very fast. I don't know. Maybe I am tremendously wrong, but I think this is going to be one of these that people after the fight are like, oh, how could we not see that? I think Kattar is going to roll. I'm max betting Kattar plus 200. I have 10 units on Kattar.
His money is where his mouth is, folks. You can never say otherwise.
I have moved a couple Kattar lines around. Yeah. I have some inside the distance too, but I don't want to track more than 10 units. If not, it would be very fraudulent.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it. Now it's time for the DGen parlay. Which one of you wants to start us off?
Go for it, Magic.
I mean, yeah. One last thing, this guy was plus 120 against Max Holloway, and now he's like plus 2. I don't even know how much. Plus 200 against Giga Chikadze of all people. Yeah, they can parlay. I just made ones to say it.
Guys, like this video if you haven't already. I want to see these likes flowing in while we're doing this. Come on.
I mean, full disclosure. If Giga comes out and kills him in 1 minute, I'm going to max bet to be announced against Giga next fight. I don't give a fuck. Like, if he wins, I hope he wins in like 15 seconds, gets Volkanovski, and Volkanovski is like minus 150 or something like that. And if he loses, same. Giga versus Billy Q is easy bet. Billy Q, huge.
What odds would you, if I gave you like plus 150 on Billy Q, how much would you put on it?
I will go for props. This guy's not going 3 with Billy Q.
You think he'd submit him?
I think he will beat his ass. Like Billy Q is for real, man.
Yeah,
he
he's pretty
fights
good.
with that confidence that only stupidity gives you. He goes inside and beats your ass. It's tremendous, Billy Q. I am a big fan of Billy Q.
I was trying to get him the Superior fight on Twitter, but
Yeah, Topuria would assassinate Billy Q, but Billy Q is a good kid. I hope he never fights Topuria.
my guy Charles Jourdain took the bait. I knew one of them was gonna take.
I mean,
it, dude.
Andrew is pretending he made this fight all over Twitter. It's good if you want to believe this, but
Look, I'm not saying I made the fight, but I'm not saying I didn't make the fight either. Because like
yeah,
I tweeted at him. He only has like 2,000 followers.
On that tweet.
Jourdain only has like 2,000 followers, so it's like he definitely saw it, and then like an hour later after I tweeted it, he just so happens to tweet.
Yeah, he has 40,000.
Look, again, I'm not saying I did it. I've never claimed that I did it, but I'm not saying I didn't do it either.
This guy made a tweet and he tagged the entire UFC featherweight division on the tweet, and he pretends he made the fight. And the UFC ruined my plan because I knew Charles Rosa was going to ask for this fight. It's so fucking stupid. I fucking knew it. The UFC ruined it, man. Topuria versus Rosa would have been the best fight of the year.
Why didn't they just...
For the fans, it would have been a circus.
Well, my pick was Cub Swanson. Thank you. Every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Check it out. Gama's the most powerful man in the betting. I like these guys. They're fucking... These guys have my back today. Love it. What do we got for the parlay?
Kattar inside the distance, Bush by submission, Chase Sherman inside the distance, and Joseph Holmes by submission. 50 to win 20K.
Dude, that sucks because all that's going to hit but the last one.
Joseph Holmes is going to win, man. You're going to look so stupid.
We'll see. We're going to be back. We're going to be back here. We're actually going to be here on Wednesday next week. Just an FYI. Instead of Thursday, we're doing it a day earlier next week. Didn't you pick Yul Gamas? Yes, I did, Aiden Jones. Thank you for pointing that out. All right, let's.
That was a close fight. You will have Jourdain right where he wanted.
Listen, 5 rounds. It could have been a different story.
Do you remember that I told you, and Jourdain is going to beat his ass, and you were like, no, Yul is fast. Since everyone else besides me knows it all, Luke, what do you have for the parlay?
All right, so I just kind of threw it together off the top. I'm going Chuk by points, the under in the Borchev fight, McGee by decision, and the over in the Brito fight, which is 11 to 1.
Love it.
That's a Fiat Punto parlay.
No
Lambo, guys. No Lambo.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going Jamie Pickett money line. We're going Caitlyn Chukagi in money line. The under 2.5 in the Bush fight, and then we are going with there's no props on that fight. We'll go fight doesn't go the distance in the Royval fight, and then over 2.5 in the what the hell is his name? The Court McGee fight.
And that pays?
I have no idea. I just did it off the top of my head.
7 to 1?
Dude, there was like 8 picks in there. What are you talking about? 7 to 1. Give me a break. Because the price, like I got minus 150 on a money line. Like why would I bet minus 110 on a prop? Like it doesn't, like it actually makes 0 sense. Like I think obviously the decision is more likely, but that discrepancy isn't enough to for me to play a prop over a money line. All right. Are there any questions? If there's any questions, put them in the chat. And
yeah, this was the shortest episode.
Yeah, because so many fights got canceled, dude.
I mean that we can do some question and answers. People have been waiting for us for a month, Andrew.
Give us some questions, then.
All sad.
No one's asking any questions.
Yeah, everybody's smoking your parlay. They are too busy.
Yeah, great. That's actually a very good idea. Very good point. That's the best thing you've said this whole episode. We need 5 to 10 minutes.
Why is everybody convinced that Gunn is going to beat Ngannou's ass like that? I don't know.
I'm kind of convinced too. We answered this question on our last one. When will come champ? When Colby retires.
Yeah, Colby's coming for the belt this year, isn't he, Andrew?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he kind of like already has it. Like real ones know he already has it. But
Yeah, the belt of your heart.
yeah. You're gonna be surprised. Just wait until we start talking about Colby versus Masvidal. I've got some heat.
He's going to win a decision against Masvidal. It's going to be legendary.
I've got some heat in store for that. I honestly think Gon's gonna win too, but I don't like. I would. How would you learn the debut of UFC? In a fight, I don't like my chances.
I think you can do well against Dustin Poirier in a fight.
I would need to avoid the early KO, and then he's gonna gas when I wrestle him.
You will do him like Oliveira, right? You put the pressure and he folds.
What percent? I think there's a decent chance.
Yeah, that's the good question. No, he hasn't. He's a fucking liar.
What?
Has Andrew watched Gladiator yet? No, he's a fucking disgrace of a
No,
man.
I haven't, but I watched.
Which person has not watched this movie?
Listen. I watched 3 movies over the last month, which is more than I normally watch in like 6 months, and they were all good too. Good Will Hunting, A Bronx Tale, and Raging Bull. I recommend all of them. I kind of agree with this.
I said that.
You said what?
That Nate is going to outlast him and choke him out, and then go, "Oh, I'm not surprised. I choke him out."
I have no idea what
I know Luke is like massive fan of the Diaz brothers.
Yeah, I'm a Diaz homer. I genuinely think he can break Poirier late, though.
Damn.
Yeah, and Diaz is unbreakable. You cannot break what is already broken.
This guy's got to be my cousin.
Man, if Masvidal beats Covington, I'm worried for Andrew.
Dude, what is with this? This guy's been like trying to roast me this whole podcast. Go watch something else, dude. Jerk off. Most confident pick is, I'd say, the under in the Bush fight.
I mean, if I laid 10 units on Kattar, which pick you would think? I mean, think a little.
Yeah, the under in the Bush board chip for me too. That's my biggest play.
Yeah, that guy is right. Gunn is becoming the favorite everywhere. People are like super confident Gunn is going to come out here and Gunn is going to let him jab at him for 5 rounds. I don't know, man.
Back at you, bro. It's all good. If you could bring one fighter to a brawl, who do you bring? Oh, this is a good one. I actually like this.
This is the questions we are here for.
Yeah.
Like a bar brawl, open brawl. These questions need to be more specific.
Let's call it like a street fight. Like someone's in the, like there's 2 guys outside that like want to fight you, and you could like go grab one of your boys from the bar to like come out and like you're gonna fight them 2-on-2.
I mean, if it's only 2, I mean, you obviously want to pick someone big, right?
Yeah.
You have to pick Ngannou, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe Derrick Lewis.
I don't know. I was gonna say
I
like,
mean, it's not fair because you are going to always pick a heavyweight, you know. But if we
Yeah.
are going pound for pound, best brawler in the UFC, best street brawler in the UFC, I don't know. Maybe Davison or Habib. Habib will be
this is a
hilarious
great
in a
answer.
street fight.
I'm thinking
Yeah,
maybe
man,
like Paulo Costa.
Lineker is a midget.
I was gonna say Nate, but like you said, I probably want someone bigger.
Nate couldn't even finish someone outside of a bar, bro.
Nate is more like one-on-one on a cage, right? You know what I mean? He has no power.
Nate would take a beating for the first couple minutes. And then come back
I mean, we cannot wait in a street brawl until Nate gasses people out 20 minutes later.
This is a good answer. I'd love to Strickland. That's a great. Strickland would just kill the guy.
Strickland has to be the best brawler pound for pound in the UFC. Yeah, and he probably has a weapon. You can count on that.
Outside of light heavyweight and light heavyweight, Chimaev is not a bad one either.
I'll go Strickland. Yeah, how did not I think of Strickland? Sean is my boy.
You can answer this one. I'm not touching this.
I need like a top 5 at least. I cannot pick one.
I know. I could probably guess your top 5 now that I think about it.
You can't.
Yeah, I can.
Go ahead.
Charles Rosa.
I mean, yeah, this is like Maradona.
Let me think.
I mean, there is another one that is obvious.
Cody
Everybody
Garbrandt.
will have. There you go.
Sorry, I'm going through the roster in my head right now. Poirier.
I don't know if Poirier will make it. He's dumb, but he's more like socially dumb. You know what I mean? He cannot interact with people well and things like that. He's like awkward.
Kevin Holland is up there.
I don't think Holland is dumb. He's stupid. Different concepts.
Rose, maybe.
Rose Namajunas?
You just like hate Rose though. You don't think she's stupid.
I don't hate her. I just dislike her strongly. I don't know. I think she's fucking unbearable, but she has a lot of traumas and shit. I don't hate her.
Someone said Chukagi. I actually think Chukagi is like pretty decent to listen to. I've actually listened to her podcast before. It's actually pretty good. You guys should go check it out.
And wouldn't make it, but
oh, this is actually a good one. Gaethje would be on my list for sure.
I will have Charles Rosa for sure, Garbrandt, Nate Diaz, and then it's a tough race for the last two spots. I don't know.
If it was like the 90s, give me like Don Fry or some shit before people knew what was going on.
Yeah, I think Rose maybe can make it. Yeah.
See, I did pretty good.
Yeah, there are a lot. We should make like a football team.
Have like a draft or something. All right. Get your questions in now. We're gonna wrap this up in a couple minutes. Luke, again, thanks for joining us, buddy. We had a good time. Got to get you back on again sometime soon. Someone said, who does Sean Brady fight next? I saw he called out Stephen Thompson, but
I mean, that's a great fight for him. Looking how Wonderboy looked against Belal, that would be a great fight for him. But any good striker that can keep him on the feet is going to demolish the guy. I mean, he was making Michael Chiesa look like Tommy Hearns.
Yeah. No,
that was kind of surprising. I did not anticipate that to be how the show was going.
I mean, not that Chiesa was having success, but that every time Chiesa was touching him, it looked like a huge power puncher was touching him, and it's Michael Chiesa.
I think Luke would have a pretty good shot against like. I was gonna say
Luke is jiu-jitsu player.
You think you could submit Priscilla Cachoeira? I think so.
Yeah, man. Except I'm terrible from top. I only do my good work on bottom because I can't stuff takedowns, and Cachoeira doesn't shoot, so I think I might be fucked there.
But you are like big, aren't you? You are tall.
6'3".
That's huge. I think we can get you a fight on the Gombas versus Poirier undercard. Maybe someone with no jiu-jitsu for classic striker versus grappler matchup. Maybe Jairzinho Rosenstruik. 6'3" versus 6'3". What do you think? Yeah, good fight.
I can't.
You can shoot an Imanari or something.
Yeah, I'd be rolling around like fucking Ryan Hall.
Probably not this year, but probably next year.
He will need to win 6 or 7 fights, but he will be. Or he will go to Bellator and become a huge.
This is a great. Whoever, yeah, this is a banger.
I beat Clarissa in an MMA fight. Like, no, I'm serious about this. I beat her.
Yeah.
I think Luke beats her too. I want to think he does.
Dude, can we make that happen? Like, what
Luke versus Clarissa? Yeah, for sure. We can. No problem.
Great.
What about Luke versus Clarissa? Comain, or I don't know. This pay-per-view for sure. Luke versus Clarissa. Andrew versus Poirier has to be the main event, I think. And
yeah, it has to be grappling.
And later in the night on Steve.
It has to be grappling rules only, though.
Why?
Because I'm not fighting Poirier, dude. He'd tune me up on the feet.
Man, but you posted this big boxing. Now you have to own it up.
Dude, I haven't boxed in years.
So you are telling the people watching the pod that you just put the gloves on to look like a tough guy, and then you took them off?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. No, I used to box for fun.
Was the blood real?
Yeah, no, it was paint. I used to box like on Fridays at like our local MMA gym when I was in college, but like my shoulder's screwed up now, so I can't. Really
the shoulder, classic injury that trunks boxing careers. Yeah, I was going to the Golden Gloves, but my shoulder.
See all the scars?
That's a normal shoulder. We don't see anything there, Andrew.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. Luke, appreciate having you on. We will be back next week for the Gon versus Ngannou card. Magic looks like he has something he wants to say, so I'm going to tune it over to him.
Andrew's a little bit pissed. I was going to say that if you want to do promo or whatever, Luke.
Yeah. Good idea.
Yeah, I mean, you just follow me on Twitter, guys, SWR_betting. Like to have some fun on there. Obviously, Club and Sub podcast every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Me and the round table of guys chopping these cards up. I am on Pub Sports Radio every Tuesday night as well at 7 p.m. Eastern, talking through the fights from a Draftkings specific perspective as well. Patreon.com, SWR betting bets content, all that stuff as well. Yeah, guys, thanks for having me on. Fun show.
Do you want to give a like a DraftKings fighter to target this week?
Well, man, this slate's really weird, especially with the fallouts, because now with Brown and Kelleher getting new opponents, but their salaries still stay the same at 7.1 and 7.5. So everyone's going to be in there. I think Borchev's probably a good GPP target. Pretty high, obviously, knockout upside early. Bush is obviously a very viable play. I'm actually going to have a lot of Kelvin as well as probably more of a contrarian because so many people are going to be loading up on the Kelleher and Brown like salary-based value takes. With also such a small slate, you just have to be very different on these type of slates. You can't be, keeping up with the Joneses like everybody else to go out there and win a tournament on a 10-fight slate. So I'm going to have a lot of Kelvin.
Cool. Love it. Gentlemen, thank you.
Bye.
Next Wednesday.